What's up, party people, and welcome back to another episode of Dance Specific Talks. I am joined by two very fine ladies in the building. Give it up for Fiorella and Linda. Oh, wow. So, I mean, I'm talking to you both here, tuning in different Zoom accounts, but are you both in Amsterdam or where are you located right now?
I am in Amsterdam, yes. But
Yeah,
Fiorella, you're in Amsterdam.
yes, and I live in a city like next to Amsterdam. It's called Utrecht.
Utrecht. Okay. Linda is living in Utrecht. It's like people always say that Utrecht is so beautiful.
It
And
is
a lot of people that grew up there are very much like, I would never leave. So is
true.
that true?
Yeah, so I was born here, but then I was raised in the north of the Netherlands, but I came back, so maybe that says a lot.
Okay. So for the people who don't know, what is it? What should people see in Utrecht?
Well, people call it small Amsterdam. Sorry, my cat is scratching. Her. They call it small Amsterdam. And what I think is super nice in Utrecht is that it's smaller than Amsterdam. It's less crowded than Amsterdam, but it has the same like vibe, I would say, with the canals and the houses next to the water. And it has the same idea, but it's a bit smaller, less crowded. For me,
Meer
that
gezellig. Meer
meer,
gezellig.
I don't say meer
yes.
gezellig, but it's different gezellig. Utrecht is
Yeah.
Utrecht gezellig and Amsterdam is also super gezellig, but not for me.
Well, we have at least a Dutch couple here in this interview, and I'm so curious because I know that you obviously are dancing bachata, but I don't know anything else. Like I don't know how you get started. So let's just dive right into it, and I will juggle a little bit in between you. But if we start with you, Fiorella, like how did you start dancing, and how did you get into kizomba just on your own?
How I got into Kizomba?
Oh, sorry, kizomba. How,
Okay.
sorry,
Interesting
you also dance
question.
kizomba. So
There
now
is a
I
kizomba
am
life
mixing
with
the
Pio.
both. Okay, so now how did you start dancing and how did you get into bachata? Bachata,
Yes.
that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah. So I started dancing when I was living in Spain, actually. So after my studies, I studied psychology and then I finished and I didn't really know what to do. Or I wanted to explore a bit. So I moved to Spain. And like right before I left, I started with like I did one block of salsa classes and I loved it. I loved it. I was doing it with a friend and I was like, okay. Then I moved to Spain and I mean, I was with my boyfriend back at the time and he was not dancing and my friends were not really dancing. The people that I got to know, they were not really dancing. So I had kind of a slow start. I did some salsa classes, but And then one day I saw a video of bachata and I was at a salsa party and I think someone there I think the room upstairs had bachata. There was a bachata class going on and I just remember thinking, wow, this is beautiful. This is lovely. And then actually I broke up with my boyfriend. I had a lot of extra time and that was the moment when I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And I started with one class a week, then that became two, three, and before I knew it, I was like totally into it, and I was a big fan. I danced a lot, a lot, a lot in Barcelona, and then when I moved back, I continued and I started teaching actually at the school where I did the first salsa class. So that was nice, and
That's
that
beautiful.
everything changed.
Wow. Wow. That is,
Mhm.
I know that obviously there's a lot of details going into this that we are summarizing right now, but what would you say is the biggest impact that dancing and learning in Barcelona gave you specifically?
For me, like the impact was so big because I was not one of these people that started dancing at a young age. So for me, doing that at a later stage in my life, it just brought so much for me because suddenly like instead of always being very cognitive and thinking about things, and I was like always worrying about so many things, and then suddenly I started using my body a lot and moving my body, and it helped me massively with a lot of things in my life to deal with them, to feel them, to connect with people in a different way than what I was used to. So like that when it comes to dancing, and then doing that in Barcelona also, like this whole Spanish vibe or the more Latin vibe, it made me feel like that was actually what I wanted to be in more, and that really suits my character and the way I want to live. So it also it gave me a lot of perspective in this sense. So it made me, yeah, it supported me in many ways, and it made me grow a lot. Yeah, very special.
Mm. That's beautiful. Sometimes I love how a certain place can just be such a gift to our life, and
Yeah,
the people that we meet just feels like they're opening these doors in ourselves that we
exactly.
didn't even know we needed or
Yeah,
had within us. So that's so beautiful. Thank you for
yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
And how was it for you, Linda? Were you more like a person that started younger with dancing, or how did your story look like?
I would say younger than Theo, but I was also like pretty late because well, dance is my profession now. So I did a dance education, but I started dancing when I was, I would say 13, I think. I started with street dance, and then my teacher, she did a dance education in the north of the Netherlands. And I was just like, oh, I want to do this. So I had like a discussion with my parents. It was not an easy one because they didn't really feel that it was maybe a good thing for me to do and to choose as my profession. But I wanted to do it, so I started the dance education 4 years to get into modern dance, classical ballet, jazz. And it was called, the education was called artist dance. And later on, I was like, I want to do more. So I did another education to become a dance teacher, but it was more in the modern dance styles, jazz dance styles, improvisations. Um, so I started young, but not young enough for me. But actually, I'm happy with the road that I walked and how I got to know like the Latin dance styles. Is I had like a rougher period in my life, I would say. It was before Corona. And a friend of mine, she told me, come on, Lynn, I'm gonna drag you out of the house. We're gonna do something fun. So we went to a dance school here in Utrecht and we did a salsa class, salsa dance class. And actually, a bit like Fio's story, we heard the bachata in the upper room, and we were like, "Ah, this sounds nice." And actually, when we looked in, I was like, "Oh, but this is close, no? They're standing very close." But we started doing it, and I got addicted. Yeah, and for
Yeah.
me, it was really nice because I was looking for something different. I had studied dance for a while. I did teaching in all kinds of dance schools, modern dance, kids, everything. And I was a bit, yeah, how do you say that? Not burned out, but I was a bit like, meh, is this it? Is this all that there is for me now after this long road of learning about dance? And yeah, then Corona happened. We went to socials a lot. We got better. And this is also maybe a small link to how Fio and me started, but maybe you were going to ask about it later.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, I also want to say this so nice with dancing that when you feel like you're stuck in one area or where you feel like you kind of come to the end of a rope in one sense. What is so beautiful is that there's so many styles to like
Mhm.
parallel jump over to. I've done that so many times in my life where it's like, okay, I've given it my all in hip hop now. Now it's time for something new. And then like dancehall came in or whacking came in, and the bigger our puzzle become, the more yeah, just our vocabulary changes. And I think it's such a nice thing. I want to just kind of say that to everyone out there who's like, oh, I'm not sure and I want to continue. Like, just change a
Yeah.
little bit and see what happens. You might find a bigger passion of yours, just like you did with
Yeah,
bachata. That's so nice.
yeah. For
Okay,
me,
so
actually, oh, sorry.
no, continue.
No, I wanted to add on what you said because I didn't knew that that change would make my love for dance grow again, or like it gave it back a bit because in the dance scene, like the modern dance scene and the academic dance scene, I would say, people are quite, and for me as well, we're quite like small-minded, like, no, I want to focus on modern dance and stay in that corner, and urban is not for me. And it was quite divided, I would say. So it happened for me in that time that my friend brought me to another dance style, and I actually found the love for dancing, yeah, back again. So that indeed is super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Like, never give up. There might be another language that you just
Yes.
haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the COVID social situation, because if people don't know, in the Netherlands, we had curfew. There was like, no parties could be official. And then suddenly, at least in the Kizomba scene where I was hanging out, people started to have like socials in their houses or
Yes.
in houses there was nobody in.
Yeah.
And it started to become a little bit of like a very underground, and people needed to know where to go. Was it the same in bachata?
Yes.
Yes.
It was the same in bachata. And I mean, we've lived through different periods because all the rules and regulations, they changed. But yeah, I think over the course of the whole COVID period, we did have a lot of like secret underground parties, and many of these parties, that's actually where we met, we danced together, and there was just such a good connection. So that is a bit how it started. There was not a lot of possibilities. There were not a lot of parties. So every party or like get together that we would go to, like most of the time Linda was there, and I just loved dancing with her,
Mm.
and that's actually how it started. Yeah.
Mm. So sweet. They are
It's
Yeah.
sending
actually
love to
fun.
each other through the screens here. Love that.
No,
Um,
sometimes it's
s-
really nice to look back also because
yeah.
we are like it went quite fast, everything. And sometimes it's nice to hear the story back because it's actually not that long ago. But yeah, we've been through a lot. So sometimes it's nice to hear the story again. Dot.
Yeah. No, but okay, so Linda, when you saw Fiorella in this party, what was it that caught your attention? What was it that made you be like, oof, I wanna dance with her?
Well, I think we had a really nice dance connection and we just had a lot of fun, I remember. And it was a bit like I don't tell too much about it, but it was like a strange period for me where I was not really comfortable with searching for new connections like in that way. But Fia was very open and like, oh, I like this so much, and let's do this again and see you next time. And like the bubbly person that I think we all see of Fia also that I remember very much, and like the fun that we had, and but also the instant how do you say that, more serious mind about dancing, and that we wanted more with what we are able to do with bachata. I think we also found each other in that part. And there was one day that Theo like asked me, hey, I want to participate in the national championships, but with you as two women, leading and following, because we were both like exploring with leading and following because standing on the sidelines was not for us. And I was already like exploring a bit with other friends how it is to lead, and I really found it nice. And Theo also started doing that. So we together found like a like-minded vision about what we wanted, and I said yes to that competition. And this is how we started creating dance together, I would say, like seriously. So we had like trainings planned. We went to the high school where I teach to train and to create our own choreography. And this is actually how it
That's
all
the start.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started immediately with that, and that was actually really nice because it was not just, oh, okay, it's nice to dance together. No, we wanted to make a statement. We wanted to do this as two women, and we wanted to both lead and follow. So that is already from the start, we had this like, but it was supposed to be just that project, or I don't
Yeah.
know. I was not even thinking like after that. It was just that, and
We had that goal.
we
Yeah.
had that goal, and then it turned out that we had a lot of fun, that we worked really well together, and that people really liked what we were doing. So then it just happened, like we continued, we got asked to to do more of this, like to and that's yeah, the rest is history.
Ooh. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I kind of want to backtrack a little bit to that competition. So what like is it were you the only couple that was two females competing?
Yes.
And was it
Yeah.
received like well, or was it a little bit like what was the feeling of the organizers when you signed up? Oh, there you go.
I would
Is it
say
thumbs up?
they were open to us participating, but during the process, I would say they came with a lot of questions because they didn't really understood what are you doing? And okay, but who's leading, who's following? How should we judge this? Because they were thinking ahead like, oh, but wait, this means that we have to look at it maybe in a different way, they thought. And we were just like giving them back, right, Vio? Like, but it's the same. They're still bachata, they're still leading and they're still following, only we change and we do the same. So, but it was a challenge for them as well.
Mm.
It was a challenge, and also for us, I think we felt like whatever happens or whatever the result will be, for us the goal is to participate and to show this, to do have this process together, to train together. So we also, I think, we went with a bit of a different idea than, okay, we have to be number one in the Netherlands,
Mm.
so, and yeah,
And
but there
how
was.
was it then to receive like the first booking then? Where like it must have been a bit of a
Yeah.
like both maybe relieved that like oh people actually get it, they get the concept, they want more of it, or was it also mixed a little bit with like oh my God, what have we done? Like can we deliver a concept?
I mean, there's a very important in between step, I think, where we found out that what we were doing, that there were other people doing this already and they had a name for it. So that is when we got familiar with the term role rotation, and our now friends, Felipe and Tiago, who were doing the same thing but in Spain. And we were like, oh, wow, okay, so there's other people doing this, but also there's a name for it. And then
Because
we
we tried to give it a name because we also started a class, teaching a class after the working together, and we were like bringing up names, and we called it bachata switch.
switch. Yeah.
Yeah. But indeed, yeah,
Nice.
sorry.
So we
Continue.
called it bachata switch, but then we found out, hey, so there's other people doing the same. And then we got into contact. We sent them a message like, hey, this is so fun. You do the same. Like, what about like this name? We like it. Like, can we use that too? And that is, they were so happy also to be in contact with us. And that is how also we started connecting. And now, of course, the role rotation movement in like is very big and there's more couples. But for a very long time, we were the only ones, like the official ones at least that we knew of. Like most probably in socials, people were maybe doing the same thing, but that we knew it was them and us. So that was a very
Mm.
special time.
Mm.
And then I don't even know how, I think the first booking came because they knew us and they danced with us in Amsterdam, I think. Well, sort of like that's how it started, I think.
Um, Yeah, they were dancing with us in a festival congress in Amsterdam. We were just there on the social, and it
Yeah.
clicked also with them personally, and we kept in touch. And she was actually like, "Hey, girls, would you like to teach
Come
in our
to my festival.
congress in Germany?"
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that was.
I I uh, I also think that is an important difference here then because for some people that have been listening to this podcast a long time, I had an episode with Magda and Valeria in like back in COVID times. But they are two females, but they are not doing role rotation. And this
No.
is where there's like a clear difference. It's just not because you're two females that both lead and follow. It can also be that just one is the leader and one is the follower. But what you are doing is that you are actually rotating all the time. Is it also in like when you are then teaching your workshops? Because since I have never been to one, which I definitely want to do now, but is it then that you are teaching not only the moves, but how to transition between the leading and the following role? Yeah. Okay.
Also, yeah, both. So we like we really do not want to attach any role anymore to gender. So in our classes, we teach everyone the same. So you learn a combination, you learn bachata, both in the leading role and in the following role. And then we also teach you, or we practice together how you can switch. So what are the good moments? What do you do with your energy? These kind of things, because it doesn't work with signals or something. But for us, the most important thing is that we teach you 100% of bachata, which is the both roles. And then what you do on the dance floor is up to you, but you have all of the knowledge. And then also for us, it doesn't matter, because then you can dance with everyone, and that is so important for us, that there's no discrimination, that you can dance with whoever you want to, and that you feel free to choose also what you want to dance.
Do
Yeah.
you, since you get into this, have you seen, is there like a majority of role rotation happening between women, or is it also happening between men?
I would say more and more it happens between men, but for me, what I noticed is that women in general were a bit more maybe comfortable to try it out, dancing together, and this is also what we noticed on the dance floor happening more. But I would say it's changing a lot, and it's getting way more normal that this way of dancing. And actually, we also say, okay, bachata is 100% of bachata is 50% following, 50% leading. Why would you want to learn 50% of the dance, you know? And I think that mindset also is spreading more, and it's people are more comfortable trying and dancing with each other. But in the beginning, when we started, I would say it didn't happen a lot, especially here in the Netherlands. I think we maybe were the first like people that did it like a lot on the dance floor. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
And
see more now. Yeah.
And was there like a bigger, I mean, you just said it kind of clearly, but is there also another why? Like you mentioned like this has to do with like you don't know the whole dance if you also don't know both sides. Was there also a bigger why or drive that you wanted to push this concept?
I think for me, I've always been fighting against these like boxes that we are either putting ourselves in, or other people try to put us in and fit us in. And for me, it had a lot to do with being a woman and then having to do certain things just because I'm a woman, or things that are expected of me just because I'm a woman. And that for me just doesn't feel right, and I've always been wanting to fight that. And for me in the dance it was the same, like, why, because I'm a woman, I have to follow? Because what if I want to lead? And what like, just like that people do not even ask, like it's just like women there, men there. That was, it didn't feel right. So I it was also a bit of me wanting to be like, to break with that establishment of like, this is how it's supposed to be and you shouldn't ask any questions.
Hmm.
And so it is a lot about this, the freedom that we experience, and the equality, and not the, like, no discrimination. And then also there, I think an extra effect or a nice benefit of this is that we also find that there's a lot more harmony now when people learn both sides, because so often in dance classes people get annoyed with each other, like, you don't lead well, you don't follow, you don't listen to me, like all of these things. Like, just try out the other role and you will see how freaking difficult it is on the other side too. So there's a lot of like understanding, we feel an extra harmony when you actually put yourself literally in the other person's shoes. And that is
Hmm.
so beautiful about doing role rotation and learning both roles in any dance.
Hmm.
And also the community of the role rotation people, which is growing a lot. It's for me what I notice, it's such a more soft environment to be in. Also because we are, what Theo said, so we are more understanding to the other role, to the other person, to how we want to touch each other. Like, how is the frame? What do we need? How much tension do you give? Like, also, like physical wise, how do you want to put yourself out there as a dancer? It's way softer, and that I really like actually. And for me, it was more. I was speaking Dutch, sorry. It was more happening that thoughts about like the divideness, or how do you say that? Division? How do you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Between those two genders. I just discovered on the road, I would say. For example, I'm a person, I just want to do things. So I see people dancing and I'm waiting on the sideline. I'm like, hey, actually I want to lead. Let's try things out. And I'm gonna start doing things and then I like it and then I get better at it. And then I wanted to take classes. So I went to a dance school here in the Netherlands. I wanted to take classes and I stepped in, like I paid for my classes as a lead. And it was like, no, you cannot join as a lead. I was like, why not? I mean, I paid for classes. I don't have, but I can lead. I want to learn. And I was not able to join unless there
Mm.
were not many men. And this was like these things happening on the road with me and Fio, but also me personally made me think about, oh, this
Needs to
is
change.
fucked up. Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
fucked up world. Yeah, we need to do
Yeah.
something about this. So yeah.
And so you mentioned that Fiorella, you started teaching at the first dance school you took a salsa class. Is that still the same school that you two are now teaching at, or where are you now?
No, we started our own school pretty soon after that because we wanted to have our own values, our own concept there, and we're still doing that now. So we created our own dance school, which is called Synergy Dance Academy. And
Mm.
so we only teach bachata roll rotation. We have what we find very important is that everyone can join, everyone is like welcome in our classes, and you learn everything. So this is very important for us to also create and have this safe space actually and offer that to everyone that wants to learn bachata in this case. Yeah.
Yeah, and we not only
Amazing.
started our dance school because like the how we work together, we found out that we were working together very well, but also the responses of other people like, oh, that's amazing, you should start classes. And we were like,
Mhm.
okay, let's give it a try. But we really quickly found out that we also wanted to create our own community because we thought about it a lot. Like, hey, do we want to teach in other dance schools? But our idea about how we wanted to do things was so specific and so clear also for us that we started our own. And it's challenging because you start from zero and there are a lot of big dance schools around you. But I'm still very happy that we made that choice because we have our community, even if it's small, it's growing, it goes slow, but it's growing. And that is for us what counts. Yeah.
Mm. And where is it located?
It started in Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
and since this season, we opened this dance school in Utrecht. So we transferred it to Utrecht. Yeah.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. And for just to kind of know the how you guys are doing it, is it different the way you teach in your dance school compared to on congresses?
Yeah, a bit. Like the
I mean,
structure of the class is different, I would say. So in classes, what Fio already said is we teach a combination and they learn the same combination as a follow and as a lead in one class. And in congresses, yeah, we call it, but we do a choreo class. It's not really a choreo, but for example, I start as a lead. I have my own combination, and then we teach them how to give over the lead. And then Fiorella's team has their own combination that they learn.
Mm.
so the
Okay.
thing is that in our classes, generally we do the same move and you do it in both sides. And in congresses, you have a part that you do as a leader and you have a part that you do as a follower. Then at the end of the class, you have the recording and you can learn everything in the other role at home.
Mm.
So we try to offer a bit more there, or we do, for example, a technique class, or we do something that is like mainly focused on how to switch and rotate roles. So we do a bit of different things in congresses as well. Yeah, that's true. And also the level is different, right? Because on congresses, depending on where we go, now there's more and more congresses where there's like more advanced role rotators and they know how to dance in both roles. But also often we are at congresses where people are there for the first time that they're doing something in the other role, right? So we have to adjust also a bit to that. But it's amazing to see that there's also places where everyone is already experiencing both roles. That's like a big win.
Mm.
It's a big
That's
win.
so cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. In Kizomba, we have now like an all-female a festival called World of Women, and
Yeah.
there obviously people are just switching roles all the time because there are only women.
Yeah.
And do you think that they're like, if you have a vision of the bachata scene, do you think that that is something that's gonna come, like a festival where role rotation is the main theme, whether or not there's only women or mixed, but just that the role rotation. Do you see if it's going to grow or not into maybe its own events and stuff?
It's already happening.
It is already there. I
No?
think it's the fourth year now, Lynn, I think, for Terra.
Yeah, they go into the fifth season, no?
Terra Libre is the seventh edition, but they had 2 years. Well, it's for some years now. There has been
Oh.
yeah, yeah. So this is actually big, and
Mm.
growing still a lot. So there is a festival only focused on role rotation, or at least where everyone dances both roles. You can like they have bracelets where you can recognize people that dance both roles, or if they prefer to lead or to follow. Um, and it's yeah, it's growing. There are a few others now, so it's really nice to see.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I also know that you teach more than dancing. You have mentioned that you're also doing more of like mind and body and like there's other things, there's other layers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for us it's in like I think from the background that we both have, Theo as a psychologist, me as a dance instructor, Pilates teacher, um, we didn't only found each other in that we liked leading and following role rotation and that we want to have a little activistic mind in that for equality and stuff, but also, hey, how do we take care of ourselves on the dance floor? Because there's so much happening, not only inside, but also in your outer world. And a lot of people just step on a dance floor, they experience all kind of stuff in their mind, in their body, which is not being teached, like, hey, how do you do a good warm up? What is active stretching? What is passive stretching? How do you deal with all the stress inside your head when you see other people dancing and you get like confused or insecure about yourself? How do you cope with that? How do you deal with that? And so this is something that we started maybe a year ago to actively put it out there, to also speak to the organizers and event people like, hey, we have more to offer here, and for us it is important to look at dance in a more holistic way, and we want to add to that in the community. um, so this is a bit how that's started, I would say, and how we see it. Maybe Theo, you have to add something to it.
Yeah, no, I think you said it really well that there's so many, there's so much more than just teaching combinations, right? When it comes to dancing, like how do you hold yourself? Like how do you take care of your physical body, but also of your mental, like well-being while we dance? Because we all, I think, know how it feels to be on that dance floor, to see other people dancing, to start comparing yourself, feel insecure about your own abilities, your own skills, and therefore enjoy less, or, all of these other things that we experience, but that are not being addressed that often. And also, when it comes to dance etiquette, for example, like how do you ask someone to dance? How do you respect boundaries, for example? It's a very big theme at the moment. No, like how do we take care of ourselves in in a bigger holistic way than just doing and executing a move, or like having this like the dance conversation, like what else is there? And we feel that there's a lot for us to grow, as people, as a community, also to create a safer space and to have more fun in the end with each other and with ourselves.
Mm.
Just because you kind of mentioned this thing also now about the insecurities that can come on the dance floor, just as a little Nuggets. What is one tip you would give dancers that are feeling that they are too much in their head and, again, like stressing about what am I doing next? Am I doing something wrong? Like, are you then teaching them, like, is it a breathing technique? Is it like mind strategies? Or could you give one example of something in that regards?
Me?
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would I would say the more present you are in your body, the better you will feel. And obviously this is a practice, right? Because we think we are dancers, so yeah, of course I'm like present in my body, yeah, no, but because we are dancing and then we're thinking, right? So we are like comparing ourselves, oh no, not this move, oh no, I didn't understand. So the best tip I would give is to actually feel. And it seems easy. I know it is, it can be hard, but actually feel. And if you notice that you are like spending a lot of time in your head while you're dancing, try to actively bring your attention to your body. So, for example, feel where your hands touch the body of the other person, where are the warm spots between the two of you. Like, try to bring your attention there, because if your attention is in the moment and in the present, automatically you're not there where you are like worrying. So you need to bring your attention back to the present. And that is, I think, the most tangible tip that I can give, that you could do in the moment. And then obviously there's a lot of work you can do outside of the dance floor, working on your insecurities and your thoughts and all of these things. But this is something you can do in the moment.
Hmm. Yeah, because and this is also something that I think that we dancers know that we need it, but to convince an organizer that this is
Ah,
needed
yeah.
is like very hard because they obviously just want to put their budget on usually the big names that will draw the most ticket sales and so on. And
Yeah.
we still, after knowing all of this and having so many professionals in the dancing scene, we're still struggling with like having 1 hour of stretching in the schedule that people will actually show up to. So how are you working with organizers when it comes to offering like workshops around mental health struggles or stretching or taking care? How do you do it? Because the holistic um, agenda has not been as big as
Sounds
the
nice,
flash
but
make.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this was indeed like it is a bit of a struggle because
Yeah.
we are known for bachata rotation, so this is what we are booked for. But we also found more things important than that. Like it's the whole package. And I think what we do now is just speak to the event organizers, and some are very open for it, but don't see maybe a spot on the festival, or some are like I don't know if this is an issue, and I see it more as a difficulty. Maybe I don't know if people are coming. They see like hoarders in a way, like I don't know. And so yes, I think in our road, in our like full on from start till now, we are. This is what we constantly have to do. Um, Speak to people and let them know why we believe it's good, and if we get the opportunity to try it out on the congress or on the place where we are, that is the moment where we can see if it worked for that congress, for the people over there. And I have to say, mostly it works out very well, and the responses are so nice because we don't only touch like the physical part or the people like the dancers, but we touch the people. And I think that leaves more. I think people will leave the congress with the idea of those workshops more than the combination that they have learned. And when organizers see that part, so it's always more on, yeah, afterwards, I would say, they see the value more. But it is a road to keep on expressing why we believe it's important and what it can bring to the attendees of the classes. And also we just added FVO, like sometimes we say, okay, we are booked for rotation, but hey, we want to offer you to always also do these workshops on your congress. We want to offer that to give it a space,
Yeah.
and some are happy
That's how
about
we
it.
try. So
Yeah,
we try to get our foot in and
Yeah.
like and share as much as we can with the people and online. Even of course Instagram is also a a big way for us to share the other things that we're doing. But yeah, it is definitely a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed myself because, as you know, I created this game, and it's like, when you know the value of something, I'm like, I know that I could get
Yeah.
everyone on a festival to get to know each other and break down like icebreakers. Like, this is what my game is for. And I know that you can go to 50 festivals and you still didn't get to know anyone. Like, you
Yeah.
just danced with them, you never talked, or you only talk with the people you already know.
Yeah.
So, and still, it is very hard for people to grasp a new concept. It is kind of a little bit narrow-minded in the frame of how a festival or a congress should look
Yeah.
like. So I'm rooting for you. I hope that it's going to be that this interview is going also to showcase, some important facts about it. Now, because sometimes we talk in the terms of this is needed, I want to hear just a little bit from the both of you, a personal maybe challenge that you have experienced and what maybe got you over that. I think that a lot of dancers are struggling with motivation. Like, why are we still doing this? Is all the time that we're putting into this really worth it? Now, in your case, you opened the whole dance school, and I know that it's not the easiest to keep running it, to keep investing in it, to keep believing it, promoting it, and you need to have so many hats as a dancer. Um, but what personally, let's start with you, Linda. What is a personal challenge that you have experienced being a dance teacher, now a dance school owner, um, a challenge that you have come across that you have overcome in
Mm.
your journey?
Well, I think at the moment I'm dealing with my biggest challenge, and that is my knee injury. But before that, what I thought about is also the losing my passion, the feeling of passion because it becomes work. And I already knew this because I was doing my dance education, so I knew this is gonna be my work. But it all started as a passion, like the inner fire that I felt when I danced. And as soon as something becomes work a lot, then it's hard to keep feeling why you started. So maybe also to the question you had before to Theo is what I would also suggest to people when they're standing on a dance floor and not able to enjoy in the moment because of whatever reason, to just think about or speak to your friends about why did I started? Because this that probably is that inner fire that is still there, but it's was pushed away a bit. So that was, I think, one of my biggest challenges, losing my the feeling of passion because it became work. But now at the moment, dealing with my knee injury, which takes way longer than I ever thought it would, is one of my biggest challenges. Not only because I am not able to dance yet. I'm able to try some things out here and there, but I'm not able to dance yet. It had a huge effect on how Theo and me. Can you still hear me? Because my mic turned off.
Yeah. Yeah.
How Theo and I had to work and how we had to like um, fix things. Like, how do we do this when one of us is not able to stand on their feet? So this is where we got very creative with finding the chair where we were teaching with, I don't know if you have seen it, but we were teaching with a rolling chair so I could still teach. But I was still having a lot of pain in my knee. I had to say no a lot of people that wanted to dance with me, which was a challenge for me because I don't like to say no, but I had to.
Mm.
Um, I had to repeat my story a lot. People that don't understand me from other work views, I would say, from other work that I have. Yeah, that is one of my biggest challenge at the moment. Yeah, and
Mm.
I'm not out there. I'm not out of it yet. Let's put it like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, we don't talk enough about the consequences of injuries and the rehab. Yeah, the rehab time is just so
Yeah,
different from injury to injury. Obviously, we
it
are
is
wishing you the
so.
best of
Thanks.
healing.
Yeah, thanks.
Ah, oh, okay. Well, Fiorella, what do you feel like have been one of your biggest challenges in your dance journey so far?
I was thinking about it. There's um I think what you mentioned earlier, like the all of the different roles that come with something that started as, hey, I just like dancing bachata. There's so many more things came like that that we are doing now, right? So yes, we love bachata, then we love teaching bachata, then we are like trying to hold a safe space for our community, then we set up a dance school, then we are like doing like organizing 4 social media accounts. Like I cannot even say how much work that is. And like we have to think about how do we do our promotions, where do we get our students, how do we organize like logistically the best possible way. So there's so many different things that we're like doing at the same time. And sometimes the shifting between, because apart from that we do this, like we have another job, so the shifting between all of these different things is a big challenge for me, actually, how to do that, how to sort of stay focused also on something. And it also comes with a lot of aligning between Linda and me, like what are our goals in life, like how can we go towards these goals and still have fun, and how can we still be aligned, and how can we also stay sane in this whole process of doing so many things at the same time. So
Mm.
it's we talk about it very often, we have to. And sometimes, yeah, it means also cutting certain things that are maybe important to us, but we don't know how to fit into it anymore. And then new things come. And so it is also, it's a curse and a blessing, I would say, doing a lot of things at the same time. But it has definitely been also a challenge to manage, and to also
Mm.
with our time to stay sane. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Learning,
I can
learning.
only imagine. Like it is yeah, people always like, "Oh, you're living the dream." And you're like, "You don't know like 99% of the time the other stuff going on in the backstage, okay?" So
And
yeah, it
something
is
is, yeah, definitely something as simple as like in the weekends, I go to bed when I wake up during the week. Like the whole schedule is the like flipped completely. Like something like that is also, I feel that in my body, like I feel
mm,
so like but I've lived the dream. Like I'm super happy with the way things are going, and there's also challenges. Yeah,
mm.
definitely. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And like when we're looking at these like mega artists out there in the world, like, I don't know, Beyonce or whatever, I mean, they have a whole team doing all of that so that they can perform, you know?
Yeah.
And we are just not in a sector that pays enough for
We're
us to have
struggling.
whole team, like a whole like oh accountant and assistant and marketing. Like I would love to hire all these people so I could just do what I
Yeah.
do. But since the rates of workshops have not gone up for the last 10 years, we're still here.
Yeah, that also is like because we love what we do, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to also make money with it, right? Because it is our job and we have to
Yeah.
be smart also with things, and also we have to think a lot, okay, what are we worth, what do we want to ask for this, what we do, and to have the conversation every time like, no, 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 that's too much, that couple is asking this, and constantly being compared. And that is a struggle, I would say. That is difficult and hard, and
Mm.
to keep on fighting for what you're worth. And a lot of people are teaching for fun, so they teach for 10 euros an hour, and then we are trying to make a living out of it. So
Mm.
people, it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is across the board, I would say. I don't think that there's many dance styles that doesn't have this exact struggle. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but to say it out loud, I think it's also really amazing that, you have started this dance school in this chapter of your life, and who knows how long you're gonna run it, but it is an accomplishment nevertheless to have started something you really believe in and say that, we really, we are going for it, and we're gonna ride this wave as we can and inspire people along the way and build a community and make people more happy and healthy in the end of the day. So
Yes.
kudos to
Yeah, and
you.
also what Theo said, like the whole challenge is to have all the caps indeed, but also between us, also we sometimes have such different ideas about how we want to continue things or how we want things to look like. So we have to be in constant like conversation about these things, and that is not easy. It's not that we are always, oh, they're always so amazing together, and we are amazing, but we also have challenges together, and it's. I love to do it with you, Theo, because I think we rock this, and a lot of couples they stop quite fast, and I understand why, because it's hard work, and you have to
Yeah.
be devoted. Is that the word to make time for that as well, and that is
Mm,
what we do every time. And yeah, I'm very proud of that actually because it's not always easy.
definitely. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love the the love, the partnership love. That's very
Yeah.
inspiring. That's very inspiring. Thank you. We are going to round up this interview with some Move That Soul questions. For people who don't know, it's a game.
Yes.
I created it to make dancers like us have more inspiring conversations. And also, there's a move part to it, which can help you when you are maybe finding a creative block. You can use these cards, play it against each other in group settings with your students. I use it all the time. I used it at university here in Amsterdam today, and it's a really fun way to connect with each other when you don't know each other or you maybe think you know each other. So let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Fiorella,
Yes.
what helps you to hear your inner voice?
Oh, what helps me to hear my inner voice
Mhm.
is to slow down. Slow down
Mm.
and be in the sun. I think that's very basic. And yeah, that helps me to actually feel my body more, to hear what I need, to listen to that. And I need to slow down for that. Yeah, sit down, be in the
Mm.
sun, close my eyes. Yeah,
Amazing. Just take me time, basically.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so Linda, I'm going to ask you this one. I love this question because you can ask it as many times as you want to. But what has fueled you until now that you are ready to move on from? What has fueled you until
Yeah.
now that you're ready to move on from?
I don't understand the question.
So
What
your
has fueled
drive,
me?
yeah, what has fueled your drive and your passion
Mm.
until now that you're ready to move on from?
I think that what has fueled me a lot is the connections with other people, sharing a passion, I would say, sharing thoughts, sharing ideas about certain topics. And I'm really a person that drives on togetherness and do things together. And then how do you say that? Like sprint off, like, and I love my friends in this because all of my friends they dance, and like most of my friends they dance. Um, and for me, my fuel is to have conversations about it and to share passion and go together. That helps me. Yeah.
Hmm. Nice. Thank
If
you.
I
Thank you.
interpreted the question well.
Yeah, yeah, it's up to interpretation for anyone. It's just good to check in sometimes. What sometimes we have had this force, and then suddenly we're like, maybe it's not what I want to fuel my passion with anymore. So it's always good to check
Oh,
in.
wait, then
And
probably
that
I
you
don't
want to
know.
Mm,
change. Yeah, that's
See, I was like,
yeah.
there's something I
Nice.
don't get in this question. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. You can play the game more and you can ask it
Exactly.
again. I'm gonna ask myself a question so you ladies
Yes.
get to know me a little bit more. What is an area in dance you secretly dream of exploring?
Mm.
Ah,
Tell us.
yeah, tell me. I want to like, I'm trying to see if I have secretly any things I want to explore in my dance. Um, I think that I would like to do more combination between like poetry, spoken word,
Mm.
storytelling with dancing. I think that there's such a beautiful contrast when you can hear a voice and you see a body moving to that voice. And I'm not talking specifically music and just a regular song, but actually maybe something I have written myself. And that is an area which I haven't explored much yet, but where I kind of want to deep dive into and see like, how would it look like if I had to write something and then I had to move to that? So yeah, maybe you will see
Beautiful.
upcoming
Can't
projects.
wait for that.
Yeah.
Yes, amazing.
Hmm.
That sounds really,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I have my first ever retreat coming up in September, and this is kind of
Yes.
an area that I want to explore more of. So it's called Your Story, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now, I also want to hear from people who maybe want to try role rotation, try to take classes, or maybe, see you in real life. Where can people find you? Is there any upcoming events or projects we should like stay tuned for? Tell me anything.
Well, you can find us definitely on Instagram. We are quite active on there. And so this is also the place where we share like where we are gonna be and where you can find us. And we always love when people like send us a message before they go to a congress, like, "Hey, I'm finally gonna see you there. So excited!" Because then we are also like aware of the people coming there and putting a bit more attention to who is there. We have our dance school in Utrecht, so you're very welcome to have classes here. Also, if you're here for a week and you just want to join a class, that is fine. You can just text us.
Yeah, that's every Tuesday for now. We have 2 levels there, and you're always welcome, or everyone is always welcome to try it out.
Yeah.
And then upcoming events, we have our whole schedule posted on social media, on our Instagram. So we travel quite a bit. Every month we are in different countries. So wherever you are, we would be very happy to meet you and to discuss, like, of course, to dance, but maybe even to like talk about some of the other things that we find important, or how to make and create a better dance scene, a safer dance scene. Like, we would be happy to talk to everyone. So
Yeah. We
Mm.
hope people feel free to do that as well, because
yeah.
we believe also in our classes or workshops or regular classes, we love to have like the conversations about dance life, not only as a professional, but also just as like the person going there to enjoy. And how do you do that? And what is holding you back from it? Or, we like that.
Yeah.
It feels very, very open and very warm and welcoming. So I urge everyone, I will link everything in the description below, and I urge everyone to contact, to find, follow, and hopefully get to dance with you in the future. I would love to do
Yes.
that. I am
Yes.
inspired now to leave my
Well, we hope to
kizomba
see you.
nest. Maybe Kizombera can come over and try a little bachata. It was a long time ago since I did that. So
I was hoping you would say this, Teaser, actually, with your secret dance that you would like to explore more.
oh, okay. Well,
But you didn't.
well, maybe I take one class in Utrecht or something like that.
Feel free. Or
That will be
two.
or two. Thank you so much, ladies, for talking to me, for sharing your story. Yeah, it was amazing talking to you. So much love, and I hope to get to see you soon.
Thank you so
Thank
much for having
you.
us.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you. Don't forget to click subscribe, comment below, and give us a rating or review. We have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all the other podcast platforms. We also have an Instagram, so don't forget to tag us in your favorite episode and share it with the world, because we read all of it.